What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
You know, Valentine's just passed. You guys aren't going to believe this, but here we go. The only people who are happy to be single on Valentine's Day are men. Right? Nothing better than a man who's glad that he set the date after Valentine's Day. You can imagine, I bet the dating apps are active the day before Valentine's. Why are we talking about Valentine's Day? Because you're not going to believe what I'm about to talk about right here. But nobody's happier than the guy who's set the date a week after Valentine's so he doesn't have to show up with a teddy bear. I hope you're not doing that. Because she hasn't earned it. She hasn't deserved it. And chances are she's not caffeinated. Listen, women are turning away from pointing the finger at you, and that's a good thing. And I'm talking about when they're trying to figure out who exactly to blame for this modern woman single epidemic. They're not pointing at you anymore for a little bit. We don't know how long it's going to last. Can you guess who they're deciding to point at? Who's at fault for them still being single? And they're not bringing to the table what men who want long-term happy relationships, marriages, etc. want. Well, you're about to find out. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
You guys, I look like shit. I know that. I'm recording podcasts today, but a member of my audience just sent me a link to an article that I have to tell you about. It's from NPR. It was published on Valentine's Day, which is just mwah, and it reads this. This is the headline. Maker of Tinder, Hinge, sued over addictive dating apps that put profits over love.
Oh,
Like I'm actually very, very overwhelmed. I'm trying not to get emotional on TikTok, but like, do you understand how huge that is?
yes. Dating apps. Dating apps are to blame. And they're blaming them because they're for-profit companies. I mean, I don't know what company isn't, but of course, they are the reasons they are not married. Not because they're feminists, not because they are incredibly difficult to cooperate with. I'm talking about modern women here, guys. Of course, not all women, yes. Yes, they are good women out there, and they weren't reading these studies. They were busy enjoying dinners, roses, and all types of stuff. And it wasn't this chick, because she's in tears. But yes, let's blame the dating apps. Just keep listening.
Like, I'm reading this whole article, and I want you to go read the whole article, and I'm not going to read it for you, but like the validation that there's an actual federal lawsuit filed in San Francisco on Wednesday that's talking about.
Of course, it's filed in San Francisco.
What I have been talking about and fighting about for 5 years. They do not want you to fall in love. They want your money, and they don't care what happens to you as a result. I don't know what the will happen with this lawsuit. I have no idea. I used to be a lawyer. I'm well aware that this is just a article on NPR. I get that, but it's a lawsuit that's been filed, and that is so huge to me. The suit, brought by 6 plaintiffs in states including New York, California, and Florida, argues that dating app parent company Match Group gamifies the services to transform users into gamblers locked in a search for psychological rewards that Match makes elusive on purpose.
All right, so I'm going to play the rest of this video, but here's the thing. I don't disagree with what she's saying. I do not disagree with what she's saying. I actually don't think that what she is saying these dating apps are doing is actually far-fetched or even untrue. I get it. It's a system set up to make people come back. But the question is, who suffers the most on those apps? Is it women? But no, it's not. It's modern women. I don't think they would survive the experience, the dating experience of a lot of men on dating apps. Now, do I think that they have other issues, as in most men on dating apps are just trying to use you so that they could smash? Yeah. Like if you're on Tinder and all these other really commonly used dating apps, they're all for getting laid really quickly. But there are a lot of women who use those apps to get laid and are very successful. They are more men, a lot more men. Not half, not even 60%. There was a graph that was released, I think I did a video on this that showed if they could compare wealth disparities, if like Tinder was a country, they said it would be below the type of wealth disparities they have in countries like South Africa. We would have one of the worst wealth disparities in most countries we have today, with like 5% of men on dating apps seeing success. That's insane. That's who should be shedding tears. But we know as a man, you got to suck it up. Stop being a crybaby. Right? And they'll tell you that, by the way. But we know this chick will get matches and everybody else. So it's just surprising to me to see a bunch of women complaining about this issue when they're the least affected. Let's keep listening.
It is really hard to do the work that I do and to just be referenced as somebody who like doesn't believe in love or who's jaded or who doesn't want you to find partnership, which I've never said. I always want people to find love and to have it and to enjoy company of other people. I want that for myself too. But dating apps have been destroying single people on purpose for profit. And this is the first time I've seen something done about it.
So she's been struggling on dating apps, it sounds like, for 5 years. And she's still single. Are dating apps to blame? I mean, no, they're not, man. No, they're not to blame. We know what it is. It's delusion. It's unrealistic expectations. It's being naive of what men truly want in relationships. They will argue the truth. And the biggest issue that we see constantly, is that they don't drink coffee. Yes, you got it right. Let's keep watching.
I'm just going to read you one more paragraph and then I'm going to go away. I promise. While Hinge's advertising slogan boasts that it is designed to be deleted, the lawsuit claims Match Group's dating apps are really designed to turn users into addicts who do not find true love and instead keep purchasing subscriptions and other paid perks to keep the publicly traded company's revenue flowing. They're seeking class action status. This is what I wanted. It is not you. It was never you. Anyone who is sad and alone and frustrated and swiping their adulthood away. I've always said it was not you, and this is the first time that like something significant and real.
Anyone who's swiping and frustrated, it's not you. It might be you. It really might be you. And listen, okay, so let's take this whole approach of companies should not be for profit and should avoid these type of practices. Well, then let's get rid of casinos. Then let's get rid of clubs. I've always said clubs are the biggest scam known to men, especially men. Women go there, they get attention, validation, they dance, they expect free drinks. They trick you, make you pay. You have ladies' nights or certain windows of times where women can get in for free. And if you talk about these things, they'll just say, stay out of women's business, stop complaining. But you as a man, you should know that the worst place to find a chick or even get laid is a club. Does it happen? Yes. But how likely are you to find a chick and get laid? And I'm not here encouraging men to chase women, especially in clubs. I don't promote that. Men should focus on themselves, better themselves, etc. But the reality is a lot of guys get tricked into thinking, well, maybe today. It's the biggest scam. Think about it. You go into the club. I remember I was in my early 20s, couldn't wait. Saw the girls going into the club, dressed revealing provocatively. And you think, well, one day, it happens. Yes, it does happen. But for most guys, you go in there, you're not going to get laid as consistently in a place like a club. But the idea is that's where the chicks are. And one day, just one day, maybe you lock one down. How many times does it happen? Not that often, right? But women go there and pretty much get what they're looking for, which is a good time and validation from men. If you go to a club as a man, you should just be going there to enjoy yourself, because it's a highly unlikely place to find somebody who you want for a long-term relationship. But that's how it's kind of marketed, is like, this is where the chick's at. Or even for guys who are out here trying to smash. Just keep watching this thing.
Has agreed. This is the best Valentine's Day gift I have ever gotten in my entire life.
What?
Go read it.
This chick's single on Valentine's Day talking about this is the best Valentine's Day gift she's ever gotten on Valentine's. Wow. That is crazy. As always, we're going to check out some of these comments and see what the people have to say. So the first comment here, which was a response to what she said, was actually somebody who slightly disagreed and said, everyone I know in a relationship met on an app, so I'm confused. So I'm really glad that this comment came up because this is actually really true. There are a lot of people I know who actually met on dating apps. I think you're more likely to meet somebody on a dating app than a club. I think you're more likely to meet somebody, for a healthy, serious relationship. Just being open and hanging around women on your day-to-day life, being open to people at like grocery stores and having an active social life. That's probably number one. Having an active social life, doing things. But for most women out here, you ask them like, what are you doing to meet new men? Are you going out? Even some men, it's like, are you going out and trying new things? Are you making yourself available? Most people aren't. But back to what this comment was saying here. Everyone I know in a relationship met on an app, so I'm confused. It does happen. While it's rare, it does happen. And I don't mean, again, the Tinders and all these kind of like mainstream dating apps. I'm talking about the ones that make you pay more and there is larger investment to get in there. Still more difficult for men than women though. But anyway, she didn't like this comment. This is what she had to say. Let's check it out.
Sure, we can file this under, I had a different experience from you, therefore I don't believe your experience. Just because something different happened to you, that doesn't mean what happened to me and millions of other people didn't happen. I'm really tired of people in relationships who got lucky thinking that they are somehow superior to the rest of us that were abused by dating apps for years on end. And like, why are we using relationships for superiority? Do you know how often they end? We also love to exaggerate because everyone you know did not meet on a dating app. Not every couple you know, let's be for real. And I don't even care what the number is. I don't care how many couples you know met on a dating app. I would break them all up today if it meant that none of the harm that has ever been done to the people who didn't find love on a dating app ever happened. Your relationship and the relationships that started on dating apps, they do not negate what happened to the millions of others who never found it. You don't make it better. You finding love doesn't make it better for people who have been in pain, who have lost money, who have lost sanity. You don't make it better. Like, what is your win here? Everyone that you happen to know in your social circle met on a dating app, therefore they're not harmful? Do you really think you're that powerful?
Wow. Wow. Okay, so now we figured out this chick is unhinged. Then we can assume that the issue for her was not the dating apps. It was when people met her after matching with her on the dating apps. That's what I'm assuming. Do I know that for sure? Based on this, that's the judgment I would make. How is she? That's just imagine you meet that after a match on a dating app. And for most women, man, they don't have problems matching. It's what happens after the match. Is there some luck in that? Yes, but I think also in two people who are willing to learn how to cooperate with each other, man and woman, come together after matching on a dating app, then you can see success. If you're somebody who's out here dating, I wouldn't rule out the chances of you meeting somebody on a dating app completely. Let's check out more of these comments and see what else people have to say. Here's another comment that says, I'm so tired of feeling like I'm unlovable and that no one in the universe wants the same things as me when I know people do. And so this is a woman who's been walking through life and people are telling her like, yeah, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for that. So she's like, well, now I can use this article to justify that I'm not the problem, but it's the dating apps. Here's somebody else who says, the danger I've been put in with these apps, I deleted them all. I mean, the same chicks who go out to nightclubs, like I said, they'll go out for girls' trips solo travel trips by themselves. But, you know, dating apps are the scariest thing on the planet. Here's somebody else who says, not a single corporation company wants anything other than profit. No company had an ethos or goal other than money. There's some truth to that. She responded back and says, yes, but this one destroys mental health and well-being while dangling love as a carrot. I mean, many companies do that. Gyms do that. Do you know that gyms bet on the fact that most people aren't going to show up to work out at the same time? And if they did, they would not have enough space for everybody who was committed. So they bet against you, dangling the potential of you getting in shape. And they make a lot of money. Here's somebody else who says, are we claiming the class action lawsuit? When and where do we sign up? So this chick's just thinking about the money. She's mad that she's not locked down with the husband, so I better get paid. Oh man. So the actual creator responded back and says, right, like, tell me where to put my email. So they're ready to get compensated there for being difficult. Somebody else here says, I started crying. Another chick here started crying. This is hilarious. Here's another comment that says, it was never you got me. Thank you. So they want to hear it wasn't you. It wasn't your fault. Oh my goodness, I knew it. I'm perfect. Here's somebody else who says, swiping their adulthood away. Felt that. Yeah. And somebody else here says, 12 years at it. Damn.
I don't drink coffee.
She doesn't drink coffee. Here's another woman that says, that's gotta be why Hinge shows you're most compatible as people the opposite of you. Forces you to keep searching. Here's something I just thought of. I believe the reason why women really, because we know the problem, right? Is that most people think that there's something better, especially women. Maybe there's something better out there. Maybe there's something better out there. Maybe there's something better out there. Maybe I can do better. And then they have that hypergamy nature within them. Here's somebody else who says, I saw a comment on another video that said something like dating apps induce you to people you were never meant to meet. Yeah, but you decided to create the profile login. This generation of, I can look back and say, I didn't mean to make those decisions and I want to be compensated for that, is just insane, man. Here's somebody else who says, the way apps have killed so many people's self-esteem, the racism in the algorithm, of course, wouldn't be a true victim mindset without blaming it on that. This is emotional. So is there racism on apps, or is there just racism in life in general? Like why throw that in there? Here's somebody else with the 100 emoji. The apps have made dating way worse. Somebody else here says, I feel the same way. I just uninstalled 2 dating apps. Too much work for too little of an outcome. Somebody else here says, I will never get back on. Here's another person and woman who says, I feel like they ruined dating for people. I have no desire to date. The apps burnt me out. Damn. How long have you been on the apps for you to get burnt out by apps? Like burnt you out from dating ever? And listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like dating apps are the best thing known to mankind. I don't think they are. In fact, I do think they use the tactics that they use to keep people coming back. And they prey on a lot of people's idea that maybe there's somebody better than the person you're with, especially women. Especially women. Why? Because women are a lot more successful. For example, I released a video about a year ago that was titled, The Number of Sexless Men Has Tripled Thanks to Tinder, with the question mark, because people weren't sure. They were trying to make theories about it. And they were using this graph to show why that may be. Check it out for yourself. The lack of equality. For example, they showed this graph titled, The Share of Men and Women Between Ages 18 to 30 Reporting No Sex in the Past Year. And I want you guys to take a good look at this graph. This is insane. As you can see, the number of men reporting no sex in the last year has tripled. But Here's what's really interesting. The red line you see right there on the graph, that is the introduction of Tinder into the dating market. That's when Tinder was popularized. That's when Tinder was introduced. And according to this graph, that is also when the number of sexless men tripled from 10% to 28%. So if Tinder was a country, and you can really use any dating app that you use, Tinder is just the most popular one that everybody likes to refer to. But if Tinder was a country, the wealth would not be distributed equally. And I want you guys to also check out the second graph that shows how much more attention men that women perceive as attractive. So that's that top 20% of men, how much more attention they get than the bottom 80% of men who struggle on dating apps. So you guys can go check out that video for yourself. It's titled The Number of Sexless, and sexless isn't spelled the right way. It's SECKLESS. Men have tripled thanks to Tinder with the question mark. Interesting video. But overall, my point is, if I think anybody's been truly impacted negatively by dating apps and has a very difficult time, it should be on here crying. By the way, don't cry. We are men. Right? We do that only when we have no other choice. Or like my dad used to say, lock yourself in a room and do it. You know? But men are the most affected. And on that cry note, I know I'm going to get somebody who's going to say, men should cry. Shut up, man. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I said. You can cry as a man. You will cry. You won't have a choice. It's coming. Just make sure when you do, it counts, right? You're not a robot. And of course, seek therapy and all that wonderful stuff. And make sure you have some good male friends around you. Do that work. Don't be like these modern women. Listen, guys, I appreciate you as always for checking out another episode of the Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.